वितपसमीपे भूविभागे विशम् सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारां सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारां त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जन्ममरणदुःख छेददक्षं नमामि जन्ममरणदुःख छेददक्षं नमामि। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिनी मूर्तिभेदविभागिनी व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः निधये सर्वविद्यानां निधये सर्वविद्यानां विसजे भवरोगिणां विसजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले चित्रं वटतरोर्मूले वृद्धशिष्या गुरुर्युवा वृद्धशिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयः शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयः शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयः शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयः ब्रह्मानन्दं ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि Observing the birthday of the great soul. You know, in a ritualistic sense, He was not my teacher, neither I was his student. He never admitted any student ritualistically. He never initiated in ordinary way to anyone. But the relation was a relation of oneness. I have visited many holy sages in India, including Aurobindo, Raman Maharshi. He was not the only one. Before him also I was very happy in my program. But to visit him, this was something very funny thing in life. My company was not ordinary company, learned, very great man like Rashtrapati, President of India, Dr. Radhakrishnan. I was with him about 8 years. He was my guru. Pandit Mahamana Madan Mohan Malviya, the founder of the university, Banaras Hindu University, very great person of his time. Mahatma Gandhi himself called him his guru. Such a great person living in that assembly. There was not even necessity to search anybody more than that. And after searching thousands and thousands gurus in India, we have system. We have no miserliness in searching gurus. If you have one guru, then you go to another guru to find out something more, then you go to another. And disciples are not supposed to inform one guru. They go from guru to guru. And they have 1,000 initiations, not one. And it is allowed that you go and find out. Condition is you should move with discipline. Not like many students when they depart, then they create some sort of fighting. No, it is not. You go with due respect. In some cases, they take also permission of one guru, and guru gives permission to visit another guru. And he must give permission. So this person about whom we are talking, it remained a person of dream in my life. Still I don't understand. This was whole mystery. When I was professor in Bombay, in medical college, a patient came to me. He was suffering from lung tuberculosis. And my generous nature was popular in that area. And he was poor, so people brought him to me. Sir, you did. They knew that for me, if you give any person, it makes no difference. If he has no money or not money, if I understand I can help, then I will give money. I don't care. So we started to treat, and magically the lung tuberculosis became cured. It was impossible thing. I myself did not understand, so I don't take any name for that, but he was cured. That's sure. When he got examination, he utterly was surprised. He was planning to die. It happened. Don't ask me how it happened. I myself don't know. When magic works, through any hand, he himself does not. I don't know any idea. But I took with enthusiasm. That was so. My heart was in him. To study him, to help him. And decided that I will test what I feel. Then it became correct. I did not know this gentleman also was going to see Baba Bhagwanta frequently. So he narrated my story to him, that where he goes to take care. That's all. One day he told me that, sir, you helped me a lot, and I see you are also a spiritual leader. My programs were going on at that time very nicely, and I was president of Bombay Society here, called Arya Samaj Society in Fort. I was the tiniest man for society, they chose, selected me president because of my Sanskrit love. So my program throughout Bombay and newspaper were under my control. They have to publish all our programs beforehand, during and later on. Here we don't involve, there we have friend also. Circle comes, meeting, they publish. So one column they reserve daily newspaper. What going on, sometime about drought, sometime about diagnosis, sometime mental hygiene, sometime and things like that. Keeps on. So I was not dissatisfied in any way, but he mentioned that if you wish, I said, no, I'm tired of seeing people. I don't want to see. But he continued to tell for 6 months. When 6 months passed away, then one day I decided that you don't see people please. It's no harm. You cannot harm. It is good. It was the question of time, busy life, that was. Teaching, surgery, hospital, my own clinic, consultation. I can never forget that moment. Because still it is a puzzle. I saw a man, I saw a day. It was the essence of my total thinking. Whatever I could imagine, that was just the flower light of that standing in my eyes. What is that? I could never imagine. It might be opposite sex, something we can different way, male, female. Person standing before gave me very great feeling. I did not, in those days I was absolutely equipped with the Western style completely. I did not like to touch anybody's feet either in those days, just. So I went to some. It's one thing. I saw many people coming, putting their head on his feet. This I learned from the Western education. Although I was Sanskrit scholar also, I knew. But I was sure that nobody will speak to me in the same tone, so I don't have any fear of anybody. Yes, if he speaks Sanskrit, then we will see. If you not do that, we let him understand. I like British Western style. He went inside and brought a cup of tea, very lovely. He gave me, and he began to smile to see me. I began to smile. I asked one question, Sir, can you give me a little bit your introduction? Because I don't know. That was the beginning of dialogue. He told, yes, you take tea, then you will have introduction. I took tea. I said, now introduction, yes. He began to give introduction. It was purely my introduction, not his. And between dialogue, he realized that he has to tell something to shock me. So he mentioned very particular situations which were my own. So he immediately jerked him. I said, is this your story? You are telling your life history. Sir, yes. I asked, is it your life? And then he mentioned, if you ask life and if I tell you life, you have to believe it. Why should I not tell that my life, which you have not to believe at all, because it is observed, it is seen by you. The thing when these were going on, then these things were not seen by you. I see. Okay, then who was doing these things? Was not I? I realized this is the meeting point, very great. Was not this I? The dialogue ended abruptly, began. Sanskrit language came out. This was the weapon. to finish anybody in a moment, realized that that was not the man to be finished. He began to speak in Sanskrit. I said, he is really vibration of the knowledge. What is mind? He told, if this is the case, I told, sir, then you don't need to give me further history. I can understand. Because this was purely my history he gave, not his own. And that I realized later on, I came to know that nobody had power before him to ask his history. Anybody comes, he gives the history of the questioner. That's the end you get out. So nobody knew till today what he was. You know man when man needs money. I asked him, sir, you don't teach. He told that 3 people teach. Hungry for money. Man, they teach, they give money. Hungry for name and fame. They teach, they give time. And third, the real man, who is hungry for teaching. That is also okay. He told, I am not hungry for anything rational. Neither I am hungry for teaching, nor I am hungry for name and fame, nor I am hungry for anybody's money. Why should I go out? It did not satisfy me. I left. Then I asked one question only. That, sir, may I have some time to be alone with you? He told, yes. I said, what time is it? He gave me time, night, between 2 and 5. I said, my goodness, you don't It's night time. If it's well, this is the time. People don't come 24 hours. People come here. I said, you don't sleep? I know. I cannot sleep. I said, what if there is some sickness? Okay, that we will talk later on. We did not know what mystery was coming next. Now let me return to my childhood. Forget for the time being this dialogue. From my childhood I was curious, meditative by nature, and very naughty also in many sense, beyond control of parental and everything, doing what I like to do. So I continued my practice in those days, and experience reached even in childhood. I asked about those visions and things ordinary sense could not answer. They even tried to stop me, don't go further, you will be crazy. Experience comes, Kundalini awakening and this and that, what going on up and down and heat and cold and this, many things, life Shakti Path you have. No answer. People told me that if you go further, be careful, you will be crazy. I said, okay, I will stop. I stopped, but I could not stop. Again somebody forced me. I said, what to do? So one day I was sitting in university, lodging, a boarding they have there in my room, and meditation was very regular. And I really like that life. The greatest tapasya in this world is study. No tapasya is like this. A man who knows how to study is the greatest man. Study. Day and night study, your attention there. This is the greatest tapasya you have. Plus meditation. And among that study also, study of life and Atman. They both bear my topic, what life is. But experiences were so overwhelming, I could not understand what to do. We ask people and they are funny experience. And they tell that, no, stop it, this is something crazy. I decided that time that I will take crazy department also in future. That is the reason I took psychiatric course, just to examine my own craziness. Might be definitely, who knows. So I took psychiatric course here in Western world. So I promised one day, I could not stop my practice, so I promised. I sat down, I got, you will be my teacher. I'm sorry. People tell you I should not practice without Guru, but I have to practice. I have already more than 100 gurus, and I could not get satisfaction. So I will not run to search another Guru. So God, you will be my Guru. People tell I should not do practice without Guru, so you will be my Guru. Because I have seen my life, I don't sleep. I study continuously, I eat daily. So my Guru must be that who should be beyond him. So he should not sleep, he should not eat. He should be the vibration of knowledge. Where I will get such a Guru? Generally, you know, nowadays Swami and Gurus are in India, mostly are illiterate. I cannot have any Guru. In that sense, sorry. I will worship piece of stone in temple rather than having a silly Guru. Now, come back to Bombay. So, coming before him again, I was called next day that he is sick. Now I got chance to examine him. So I took my all medical case and went, then I examined. Putting the stethoscope and just every head testing chest. After examining, I put everything inside. Then he asked me that, what did you find? I said, well, let me ask you two questions. Then I will tell you. Okay? So I asked that how much you sleep? Okay, I don't sleep. I asked, what do you eat? Hey, I don't eat. I said, then why you should not be sick? Neither you sleep nor you eat, why you should not be sick? He told, you are right, but now you give answer. I said, how to give answer? Okay, you are doctor. I don't sleep, I don't eat. Then why should I not? So now I tell the reason why I should be sick. So I told, because you don't eat, you don't sleep, you should be sick. Naturally, you should eat. Then you should sleep. He told, well, then don't you think you wanted somebody should not sleep? It became mythical dialogue. I forgot my medical business. I said, where I am sitting. Immediately I began to remember my child. Because don't you think you promised that your Guru should not eat? Then he should not sleep. When he brought that memory without asking me, because I did not mention it, don't you think you promised and you accepted God, your Guru? I said, I kept quiet. Give me time to think. Well, after that it became so attraction powerful, began to visit daily. It was not a dialogue so much interesting. Dialogue also was very interesting. But it was something more than that. Because I noticed in Ramana Maharshi's place was very charming. Very charming. Ramakrishna's place, Vivekananda Center's place, very charming. Aurobindo's personality was unique. But here I found different things. It was the mixture of tremendous power and with vibration of cognition. And you can experience the free flow of that energy directly. Just like a current moves from you to that person. And at the moment he smiles, as if it seems that he knows very well. And very sublime and divine smile I can feel. I felt that. Now I began to taste that he does not sleep, so I took leave from college and I came there. Because 24 hours he sits, so I saw. 12 days were enough. I become sleepy sometimes, so I said, now I am sleepy. He says, okay, now you will not sleep. The moment he tells, I will not sleep, sleep disappears. That's a funny thing, magic. I am sleepy, and he tells, I will not sleep. The next moment I see there is no sleep. I said, you create sleep in me? He said, no, you will not sleep, that's all. I passed 12 days, and he told me that now you sleep. You are teacher in college. You live in the world. You need little bit sleep. Well, after that I continue to go whenever I have time. I saw no book there, this given. In his whole ashram there not see. Second time I went, there was a book. There was one book only. And he knew that funny thing, without, I did not tell him. That was shocked me, without book, mind without book. He knew. Second time when I went, and he told me that, somebody put book, it is not my book. That gave me more shock. I thought at least he has one book. He told, no, somebody brought that book, it is not my book. And if you think I need a book, then you decide what book I need and bring that book and put it. Now I have to decide for him what book he needs, and that book I bring from market and put it. No doubt he promised me to give money. But he asked me that what is the book you think proper for you and put it. Now you pay attention that some people came in this world, very great man, who has not written a single book. As George Bellin mentioned here, Buddha did not write it, Christ did not write anything. Many great men did not write anything, and many great men also wrote. We cannot tell those who write they are lower or those who do not write they are always higher. But he was among those people who saw a book everywhere. When you see everything in the book, you cannot write. When you see everything in the book, for him the total universe was book. You go before him, you become his book. So when I asked, why don't you write books? So he gave good answer, that don't you think you are my book? Anybody comes, it is a book to read. I said, in those days that idea did not impress me too much. But I said, I am his book. But later on realized, after all, intellectually those ideas there. On the other hand, the Vedanta study books, many magical powers were written, divine natures. I thought they were exaggerations. Now it became great contact with him, and it became the play of divine powers also. It was just like God himself shows all power. Now, one day I was sitting, this was my puzzle, that who he is. So, before I am thinking, he began to give answer that, do you know, how will you judge a man who he is? What was going on? Same he asked, yes sir, that is my question. Okay, that is your question, but I asked first. You did not ask first. That how to judge a man who he is. And will there be any way to judge a man who he is? I say, yes, Shastras are telling to be quiet, absolutely. And think. Correct. After feeling what you can tell who he is. Are there two selves, so one can tell who he is for the other? This became gradually very deep and deeper, meaningful meeting. Still I did not feel what was the final gain in this place. And then came the time of the projection. In yoga these powers are written that a person has power to project himself anywhere you are present. When it came up to that point, projection, I thought might be some mild mental hallucination. But then I decided that, okay, now projection, now not projection, now projection, not projection. It became just like television, you put on, it is on, not put on, then it is not on. Off. I said that is correct, there is a projection, but the question is, this is my projection or his projection? This was my doubt, I reached there, I sat down. And same question he asked, that how will you decide that it is my projection or your projection? Or two persons' projection, how will you differentiate? I said, he is asking exactly the same question what I have. Only he becomes the first. I said, sir, how to decide? Okay, well, are there two minds? Individual mind can be two or many, but are there two cosmic minds? So how will you make differentiation? This is your projection or somebody else's projection on that plane? I say, yes, it cannot be differentiated. My doubt was dropped, I forget it. cosmic mind is one. And projection or anything has to be through God. In that sense it is Maya, is it correct? So I have to admit, as long as it works on my request, might be television about which you know nothing, but at least you can enjoy to see the program. Well, relation was so established that it became complicated to be without him. And one day I have to ask. I asked him, Maharajji, now I stopped that way, I began to salute with whole hand. Still I did not touch his feet. I come daily, love was equally, and I did not realize by touching or not touching make any difference. Love was the same. I asked Maharajji, I come to you, then you know my study and my all program, they were not barren, they were nothing. I am not seeing